Time's up, I done touchdown. I'm high stepping for the touchdown. I stay repping for the slums where the young bucks started loaded up. Just
hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the AFC South Fan Battle Podcast. My name is Samantha Arnett. I am not going to be hosting this evening, but I wanted to join the fellows for the beginning of this episode because I just wanted to say that is Victory Monday, and I wanted to show up with my shirt, my Victory Monday shirt. And I also wanted to mention in the group a really awesome thing that Scott Robertson's doing for Michael Tesmer. He has a GoFundMe going for Michael Tesmer's crystal ball because he's I guess he says that his crystal ball is messed up, so he needs a new one because his predictions are inaccurate. Matt, or anybody want to comment on that? It's in pounds, by the way, because Scott Robertson's in the UK.
Just keep making your predictions, Tesmer. It's helping.
So if you guys want to go in there and donate, I really did tell Scott, though, because Tesmer is a good person and he adopted some kids. So I said that the money that goes to that, he should donate to the National Adoption Foundation. So he is going to donate the money. But definitely check it out. And you know, Tesmer, you drive us crazy every single day with all your posts. And I think it's fine time that somebody comes after you, and I love it. And at least it's in good, clean fun, right?
Anyway, I'm very good at picks.
That being said, Duval, and our host for this evening is Justin Gunsaulus.
Hello, welcome. So it was a very adventurous week this week. I think, if we were looking at the standings and who all won the games this week, some of these games that came out, we never would have guessed a one. Obviously, one being the Jaguars, but I think across the league there was some games where teams where we thought were going to win didn't win. But hey, let's start off with introducing our hosts, or that's me. But introducing our panelists and commentators. Let's start out with the Texans. Matt, say what's up.
Do I have to? I'm just here so I don't get fined. Come on, Lions, let's go, baby.
We have Agent Ha here for the Titans.
Yo, what is good other than the Titans?
We got Matt for the Jags.
So please excuse our host. He's still just drunk off of an amazing win from the Jags yesterday. So he just needs to get over that. But I just want to shout out to all tables out there that didn't get broken yesterday. You're welcome.
This is crazy. We have 3 Jaguars on here. Is that like one for every missed field goal you guys had yesterday?
Hey, one missed field goal. One missed field goal in the books.
Wow. I was on here simply to mention Tesmer. I'm not on this, so there's only 2. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Interesting. And then we have with the Colts, Josh Senior.
What's good, everybody? Shout out to Carson Wentz, best quarterback in the division.
Hey, you got to have something, right?
Yes.
That's bold.
That's bold. It's a more victory.
That's one way to put it.
I'll take it.
So, we kind of talked a little bit about news and notes, but we're going to hop back into it real quick. Obviously, the tragic events with Henry Ruggs, DUI. He is, I think at this point, suspended and out of the league indefinitely.
The Raiders cut him, so yeah.
He's going to jail.
Yeah.
You would hope.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen something like this happen before and the player didn't go to jail. But anyways, moving on to another Raiders cut that just happened today. Damon Arnett, corner, I guess got on Instagram and wanted to show some guns he had.
So he was a first round pick too.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about just throwing away picks, just bad decision after bad decision from these players. But unfortunately, both of those guys looks like they won't be playing this week or for the near future. But what other news and notes do we have outside of that, guys? What am I missing here?
Odell Beckham Jr.
Odell. I saw that Russell Wilson looks like he's cleared to play, so he'll be playing next week.
Did Odell get claimed yet, or has that not gone through?
It's Tuesdays when it comes in. Yeah,
Tuesday. Tomorrow's waivers. So and Pete Carroll's supposedly
I know
interested.
Seattle. Yes, I know that Russell Wilson was pushing for Odell.
The last three teams I heard was Seattle, New Orleans, and New England.
No, yeah.
Where do we think he signs?
Probably.
If
Saints.
Seattle has their way, probably Seattle. I think they have the worst of the record.
Doesn't it come to waivers too?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Waivers. Yeah,
I'm not sure the waiver. I'm not sure who has priority and whatnot.
Well, the Lions had the first one, and they said they're not taking him for sure. But if you were a team out there, where do you see him as the best fit?
I would say Patriots. I mean, you have a pretty good team. You know, you just don't have a star receiver, and he wants to be a star receiver. Perfect place for him. You know, and it'll help your young QB as well. So
Tessmer said Oakland, even though he means Vegas. That could also work.
They picked up Deshaun though. They picked up Deshaun.
I know. I mean, Atlanta has just lost a receiver. They could use another one.
I know from what I've heard, his team is his agents are calling pretty much the top teams in the waiver order, saying don't pick him up. He doesn't want to play he wants to go to a contender.
Yeah.
Right.
So don't waste your money.
This is a classic Bill Belichick, like bring it in, right? Like ever since Randy Moss, like Bill Belichick has been like fixated on getting some of these guys in there. I mean, has anybody ever like panned out other than Randy Moss? I can't think of anyone. Like I remember Ocho Cinco, but no, didn't really work out. I mean, the Josh
Reggie
Gordon
Wayne
experiment.
Retired.
Reggie Wayne had Josh Gordon, Antonio Brown.
He was traded.
This is just some. Yeah, Belichick has just loved doing stuff like this, and I think it's New Orleans or New England is what gets him.
If I know this is never going to happen, but the Texans were smart. They wouldn't listen to his agent. They would pick him up if he doesn't play well. Put the franchise tag on him next year. Come draft time. Hey guys, look what I got.
Yeah,
you can get something now.
But here's the thing:
it doesn't matter.
Is he worth it? Like. Has Odell done anything like meaningful since he was a Giant?
When he's healthy, he's still a presence. But that's the thing.
But when you have Baker Mayfield,
it feels like Cleveland is better without him.
Well, sure were yesterday.
Yeah,
like last year, when they lost him for last year, and they were way better.
But before they lost him, he was having a heck of a season. He was.
I mean, do they need him? No. I mean, we all know in Cleveland right now that the game script goes through Hunt and Chubb. Mm-hmm. And
I love that guy they have, Peoples Jones.
Yeah.
Not just for his name, but he's awesome.
Mm-hmm. He's pretty good.
I'm going to throw one out there. I'm going to say if I was a betting man, and I would say he goes to the Saints. They seem like a team that would do something like that, and he would work well once Jameis gets healthy.
It feels like Sean Payton kind of wants to tinker a bit this year too.
Yeah, with losing Michael Thomas, with him not playing the rest of the year, I think it's a no-brainer if you have the opportunity to claim him and then obviously sign him. So, But yeah, anything else to add before we jump into the games?
I think it's worth noting, the whole Aaron Rodgers situation, right? And how Jordan Love stunk it up yesterday.
That's right.
We can talk about Jordan Love's performance or the lack thereof.
Yeah.
That's got to be concerning for Green Bay, right? Like,
I'd say if you're a Packers fan,
Jordan Love was brought in to be like the guy, and like he spent like pretty much the whole offseason when Aaron Rodgers was holding out, like being like with the ones, and that did not look inspiring. Granted, it was only one game, but considering how well that
first career start,
considering how bad that Chiefs defense has been, you would hope that he would get he looked about as bad as his like family seats.
Like, if you watched the game, I mean, he was underthrowing people, he was overthrowing people. It was just it wasn't looking good for him at all.
I mean, he's a pretty raw talent, wouldn't you say, too? Like, he needs a lot of polish. And
let's be honest,
did he play a whole lot at Utah State, or did he just have like maybe 1 or 2 years, and then he was kind of flashy, and then they took him, like everyone, and then they drafted him? Like, what was his college career like? Anyone? I didn't watch him.
Question.
I live in Utah and I didn't even watch him.
But let's be honest, Aaron Rodgers sat on the bench for how long? What, 3-4 years? So I mean, I have to agree with Justin. It is going to be a process for him. Not everybody can be Pat Mahomes sitting on the bench for 1 year and become MVP.
Yeah, but you would have thought that you would have seen something yesterday. Right. It didn't look like there was much. I mean, Devontae Adams looked really, really, really frustrated.
Yeah.
Like he was like, wow, like I can't believe this is happening. Like there's that one pass in particular where Jordan Love just completely like threw it the wrong way. It was like Adams was like looking for that back shoulder. Mm-hmm. And he just looked so upset. It
was a big third down. Yeah.
Yeah. It was the fourth down, wasn't it?
I thought it was third. You might be right. Might have been fourth.
Either one. Yeah.
Yeah. It is. And he wants out too at the end of the season, like Rodgers. So I mean, maybe he knows something we all don't. Maybe he knows.
Well, Love. I think that they really, as much as Green Bay doesn't want to admit it, they really do need Aaron Rodgers because he's the kind of guy that's making like people like Lazard look great. He's making like these Tunyon guys look better. And I hate Aaron Rodgers more than anything, and I hate saying that too. But they're kind of stuck knowing that it's his last year there.
Jordan Love was nasty at Utah State. He played for 2 to 3 years.
Okay. So thank you, Jacoby.
Yeah.
Perfect. Anyway. All good stuff. So hey, let's dive into the games here. The one I want to start out with is probably one of the more fun games just because of all the scoring that went on. Josh Sr., let's hop into the Colts game. Jonathan Taylor seemed like he put the team on his back a little bit, if you know what I mean. So run us through the game.
Well, all Colts fans wanted to see the game plan. We've been wanting to see all year, and that's balance. Not have our quarterback throw the ball 51 times and throw left-handed pick six. And like I said, when the run game was going with Hines and going with Jonathan Taylor, we was able to throw the ball to Pittman, Pascal, Mo Cox, Granson, Jack Doyle. I mean, Doolin, all the targets. He was spreading it all over the field. We was able to see a balanced offense. On the flip side, our defense, with being up with 41 to 45 to 10, our defense gave up a whole lot of points. There's some serious issues going on with our defensive coordinator and our defense. I hate to admit this. I have admitted it, but we're missing Audrey, man. We're missing Denico Audrey. We're missing Justin Houston. We have some issues. No pass rush. We unable to stop the run. Our back end is just terrible. Rose was open again still. It's just I don't know. We got to get that fixed. We got to address safety.
Was it garbage time stuff? I missed the game Thursday, so I didn't know what those like late scores. Was that just garbage time, or was there actual like?
They're actually trying to make it a game.
Okay,
they made it a game. We won by 15. So they made it. They made it a game. It was a blowout.
Josh Johnson threw an interception in the end zone. It was a bad throw and got picked off to end the game, but he was about to score and they got the onside kick. Who would have known? You know, it could have been something for the ages.
Yeah, I didn't want that to happen after they beat the Bengals, and I didn't want to. I mean, people say all week Matt White was going to just tear us up. He was on a high. He was, won. But I think he won something of the week. AFC player.
He had a great game against the Bengals. Yeah, he won 400 yards or something like that.
Matt Flynn had a great game too.
And he hurt his hand, and then that's when Josh Johnson had to take over the game, and we allowed him to throw for 303 touchdowns. That's pathetic. I'm not happy. I take the win, but I'm not happy with our defense allowing that. You can say garbage time, but the defense still got to play. You still got to close the game out, and they didn't do that. Yeah, they got to pick at the end of the game, but I'll take the victory.
I get what you're saying, also, but I mean, a factor of White getting hurt has to come in, right? I mean, you game plan against White, who's not mobile, who's a gunslinger. and then Josh Johnson comes in, and that opens up the playbook to a lot more different types. Bootlegs, RPO. Yeah.
So are you really concerned about?
I think
the defense?
Yes, I'm concerned. I'm straight up concerned.
Really? Because I don't think you really have much to worry about defensively. You guys are pretty solid.
Yeah, were they in prevent defense though?
That's what I'm saying. It feels like it's like
not the whole entire third and fourth quarter. It was pretty much a lot of plays that were penalties, a lot of plays that were chunk plays, a lot of plays that were it was just a lot of mixture of things. They didn't play prevent the whole third and fourth quarter.
They were in the third quarter, and then when they started scoring, they're like, "Okay, we got to start playing again." We're about to Oilers up. So
sometimes it's hard to get that back, though. Once you kind of like get sort of complacent and like you're ready to just end the game, and then all of a sudden you have to turn it back on. It can be hard to do that.
Right. Then after they scored maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns, that's when Wright went back to his old self, started to throw the ball instead of running, milking the clock down.
Well, what's wrong with that? You got the best quarterback in the division.
Well, I mean, did you see what happened Sunday before that? Did you see what happened?
I saw it again yesterday too.
Yeah, you saw it again yesterday. So yeah, and that brought back flashbacks. So
I really did.
We don't want that. I mean, now think about this. We got a division game coming up, and I don't want him throwing 51 times against Josh Allen. I don't want that to happen. So no, I want a balanced attack again.
Yeah. Do you feel as if this was like I know Carson Wentz has had some pretty good weeks leading up to this, but this was like a coming out game or like a spot to solidify Carson Wentz to say, hey, I'm the guy. We're going, we're on this track to go to the Super Bowl. Was this like his like cement in the stand or putting his flag in the ground to say, I'm ready, let's go? I
mean, I wouldn't say it against the Jets. I would say that more so against the Niners. That he did that in the rain, in the conditions they were in. Mm-hmm. I would say that we play against the Buffalo or against Tampa Bay. If he makes those statement games, it does the same thing. Then you start to see that. But I want to clear the air. We're not going to bench him for snaps and keep a pick. That's not happening. I get tired of hearing that. Should we do this? Should we bench him? Should we bench him? That's not happening. We're not doing this.
He has to play the year. And the way the AFC is turning out, you could still get to the playoffs.
Yeah, it'd be dumb just to bench him, just to give up just for a first round pick. Hey, take your, accept the pick that accept the quarterback and the picks that you gave him, and just, hey, if you don't make the playoffs, fine. It's always next year.
Perfect. Well, I'll say this. I appreciate Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman for helping me win in my fantasy league this week. So
too. I agree.
And good God, 9.1 yards per carry. Goodness.
Yeah. The Jets give up the booty.
Huh.
No.
Goodness.
They give it up.
Yeah, perfect. So moving on from the Colts, we're gonna hop over to Agent Ha because the division leading Titans put a whipping. I'd say it's a whipping on the Rams and their elite defense at this point with acquiring Von Miller. So Agent Ha, run us through the game.
I mean, what a surprise that was in a game or in a day that had a lot of upset wins. I mean, that just was right on theme where we have to come into this game without Derrick Henry. That's our identity. Offensively, I think that we're going to have to really work at it, but that's to be expected. It's our first game without like our major player, but the defense, boy, did they step up. Thank you, Danico Autry. You said it, Josh, that you miss him. He was a great pickup for us. Him and Jeffrey Simmons, they're just like tearing it up. And like Bud Dupree, like that guy is like getting overpaid, but you know what? Like is
it just me or did Kevin Byard finally come back to form from 2 years ago? Last year
he's been playing great. He's been playing great all year.
Yeah, I don't say last year he wasn't good at all.
No, he let some plays go last year. Like last year's defense was just so atrocious. But if you remember, when I came on last year, all the time I was saying that we need a pass rush. This is what happens when you don't have anybody who can get pressure. And look at what you're seeing right here. This Danico Autry and Jeffrey Simmons, the way that they've stepped up, and what's his name? Landry. Like the way that these guys, this 4-man, like I said, like Bud Dupree is definitely overpaid. But you know what? He got all those sacks last year off like unblocked edge rushes. But if Simmons and Autry and all these guys can actually like keep getting pressure, that's going to help Bud Dupree in the long run. Like just these 4 guys, we're not even blitzing and we're attacking quarterbacks and getting pressure like crazy. And that just helps the secondary. It's just night and day right now, the way our defense is playing from last year. I just like, it's crazy to think that just within the calendar year, like how different it is. Like, and we didn't start out this way. It's taken a few weeks, but we've really come into form. And right now, the way we're positioned, the defense really needs to take charge. They need to be the Derrick Henry of our team as a unit so that the offense can just kind of figure out how they're going to be able to progress without Derrick Henry and just kind of figure out what kind of offense they're going to be. My guess is that they tried doing a few screens yesterday. It didn't work out too great. I think they want to keep using that pat or that play action, but we're not panicked because we have enough of a cushion over Indianapolis and really anybody in the division.
I don't know why y'all didn't give the ball to Deontay Foreman more.
He was doing fine. Yeah, he was doing fine. He's got the size out of all of our backfield, but I don't know. I haven't seen too much of him.
Other than 6 carries for 29 yards. That's almost
he was fine.
5 yards.
Like collectively, we just put together 68 yards. I think it was. I can't remember the touches, but it wasn't great. It was. Again, our offense didn't do great, but what we did do is kind of like what we've been like. I can't remember who I was listening to today. They were saying that like no other team that they can think of, like when they have to get the score, Tennessee's been doing it, even though we were not very good on offense. We had to get that score in that fourth quarter to just put the game away, and we got it. Now, of course, that Aaron Donald roughing the passer, I mean, that's kind of stupid. I don't know what you're going to do with that, but
plus our 6-0 against teams that were in the playoffs last year.
Was it 6-0?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 6-0 or 5-0.
Okay, I thought it was either way. Yeah, like right now, it's the toughest stretch of our schedule is over. I haven't been on since the Jets loss, and I was saying our toughest stretch. I mean, we're in real trouble. But like, if we could win 1 or 2 of those games, that'd be great. But we won all 4 of them, and that's fantastic. And I was thinking about the Saints game being a real tough one. Now, its defense is going to be tough, but without like a Simeon, like it's definitely not going to be the same kind of challenge that it was at the beginning of the year. So we're in a position where it's like, you know what? I think I was looking at it that like the Colts need to go 8-1. If we go 4-5 or something, the Colts need to go 8-1 to win the division. Like it feels like the division is under wraps. So for us, we just kind of need to just take it easy and let this defense be the way they have been, and just use this time to figure out how we're going to be effective at offense. Because Tannehill's going to have to play better than he has.
But see, I keep hearing that from Haris too. I honestly don't think it's on Tannehill. I really don't. He's been sacked more times.
Yeah, no, the pressure's getting there. Like Taylor Lewan's been the Taylor Lewan story this year has been really frustrating. Where it's like I know he's got that injury, but it just feels like it's just they never know if they're going to be able to have him. So his dependability isn't there. And what's his name that they have filling in for him? God, that's his name is worthless. It's that left side is going to need some work. So yeah, he is feeling the pass rush, but that pick in that first half or in the first quarter was all him. That wasn't pressure. That was Tannehill.
I get it. But like, again, when you know that the pressure's going to be there, you get happy feet. It happens to almost every. It happens,
but
you know,
he's going to have to figure it out. I mean,
you got sacked almost more times than you did all last year.
He definitely is. But a lot of those mistakes were in the first 4 weeks, and it hasn't been as much recently, the pressure. A lot of his pressure came against like the Cardinals and against the Seahawks and the Jets. He had a lot of those pressures. He's been getting a lot more time recently. And I mean, Julio or AJ Brown didn't help him out too much yesterday. AJ Brown had a few crucial drops. So I think that we need to shift a little bit more of the passing game, opening up more for these running backs than what we have been, which is Derrick Henry opening up a passing game. I think our receivers and AJ Brown, if he gets that catching problem figured out, like he just stops dropping the ball, he's really good at running routes. And Julio had some great catches. And yeah, it's
y'all need to give up on him, man. Give up on him.
Who's that? Julio. Like I said, his numbers aren't Julio numbers, but the catches he's making good catches. He had a couple of catches yesterday that were really important. He had some good I think it was 2 first downs that were really important and just eating time. This is a team that like our offensive mentality isn't style points. It's not finesse. It's really just ball control and just like that whole second half was just trying to keep the ball, or is just try to like kill the time. So that's not going to be how we're going to be able to move forward. We're going to have to be able to score with efficiency. So again, we're not pressured though. So hopefully Todd Downing is going to be able to figure something out. So I think we're gonna have to lean on our receivers more. I don't know what point I was trying to make. I started to go on a tangent. Sorry. Justin, go ahead.
No, you're fine. No, I think when it comes down to it, that Tannehill's not having the success that he was last year, or that level of success. But you know what they say, you just have to score more points than the other guys, and that's what you guys are doing.
Yeah, the only stat I care about is the win-loss record, and I feel a lot better with getting through the middle of that middle stretch of our schedule the way it was. I don't know. I still haven't heard about Derrick Henry. Like, I don't know if it's possible he could come back. I'm hearing he's done for the year. I'm hearing maybe he could come back. I don't know. I think we're kind of hoping that we could get him back, but obviously
last I heard was 6 to 7 weeks at best.
Yeah, the thing I was hearing is that the problem with his injury is that kind of fracture you see in wide receivers, but wide receivers don't take the load that Derrick Henry does. So to bring him back so early could be detrimental. Mm-hmm. So I mean, we could hope to get him back for the playoffs. I don't know. So for me, I'm just holding out hope that we get him back, but I don't know. Right now, we just kind of have to take it easy, or just sort of like not stress so much, just kind of figure out what kind of offense we are.
Somebody said, don't take it easy. Easy part of the schedule. Put your foot on the pedal and keep winning.
And no more low managing
right.
Julio.
Oh, I see. Well, yeah, Julio had said that the Colts game, that was load management. He says he was good to go for the Rams, and it doesn't seem like he's really dealing with the injuries anymore. So let's hope that he keeps it going. So I know you're saying that we give up on him. You can't give up on him. I think
you're paying him $15 million for 300 yards.
Well, it's Julio Jones. It's the name. Someone's going to be overpaying for Odell Beckham. It's just one of those things where his catches that he's made have been impact catches. He'll be fine. I'm not worried about Julio.
I think my one takeaway from the game, at least, is just that the Titans defense, held the Rams for 3 quarters to 6 points, which, everyone's touting Matt Stafford as the MVP right now, and terrific job on their part. So
yeah, definitely defensive effort, like A+ all around for them.
For sure.
And he never beat the Titans. Stafford have never beaten Titans at all since been.
Is that right? That's right. I remember there was a couple of wonky games that he had against us with Detroit, but yeah, he never did he?
Well, I didn't notice that first interception he threw when he was getting hit in the end zone. Mm-hmm. If he would have took the sack, it wouldn't have been.
Oh, wouldn't have been the forward progress? Huh?
Yeah, within a half yard.
So if he would have took the sack, it wouldn't have been a pick, and it wouldn't have been. So.
Jacoby just said neither would have once.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either. But I want to move on real quick to the Texans game. We'll save the Jaguars for last. So, Matt, I'm kind of pissed because I picked up Tyrod Taylor to start my fantasy league because one of my quarterbacks was on a bye. I was expecting him to go out there and do what he did week 1 and week 2. And unfortunately, he laid a goose egg. So tell me what happened. Break it down for me.
So, I mean, first quarter, first couple drives was looking good. We got the ball back. Tyrod Taylor was he was driving the ball, and the stupid broadcast system showed a stat saying he's 6-0 against the Dolphins, 10 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And what does he do the next play? Throws the interception in the end zone. Just like Stafford, if you would just took the sack, wouldn't hurt. But he spun out a sack, threw an interception in the end zone, and just went downhill from there. Dolphins just moved the ball, and it just killed us. It's just bad play calling and offensive line. Texan fans were saying it's all Davis Mills. Obviously, it's not, because Tyrod Taylor looked just like Davis Mills looked better than Tyrod Taylor. So play calling needs work. I honestly think Bill O'Brien is in Alabama via Zoom saying, "All right, Tim, this is what you need to do." All right, and I'm just tired of seeing people coming untouched, and O linemen, running backs, nobody's getting a piece of anybody and just hitting the quarterback. I know how it feels to be a Jags fan now. Like I'm really rooting for the Detroit Lions to win 2 more games.
Wow. A couple interesting
I think Detroit
things.
could do it.
Welcome to hell, Matt.
Welcome to hell. That's funny.
So if I was to tell you that the Dolphins running back got 20 carries, 20 carries, how many yards do you think he would get in total from those 20 carries against the Texans?
Oh, he probably got almost 130.
You would think that, right?
I didn't see the stat line, but
he only had 34 yards off 20 carries.
Wow. Was that Gaskins or the other one?
That was Gaskins.
Gaskins.
I mean, shit, you could have done 20 quarterback sneaks and got more than 34 yards.
The Miami's defense offense didn't do that great either.
Nobody wanted to keep the ball.
Brissett, I think, had like 198 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. I mean, and like you said, a run game. It was a terrible game throughout both teams, but I don't know.
It really was one of the ugliest games of football there has ever been played.
Have you not watched the Texans all year? I mean,
but that's usually like one team that's crap in the bed. This was 2 teams just deciding to not play good football.
Well, like Justin said, when Tyrod was coming, I was so pumped because week 1, he beat a young Jacksonville Jaguars team, and then week 2, you stay competitive with what looked like a dark horse of the AFC. It looked like a contender for the AFC. You stay competitive with them. So you're like, all right. And then he gets hurt and it's like, and then he comes in and it's still, so it's just,
welcome to the Jaguars of 2020.
Right. Yeah. So I'm praying and hoping Jared Goff can pull a miracle asshole and win at least 2 games.
Yeah. The Jaguars
literally. Odell Beckham comes there and tears it up.
Literally the Jaguars of 2020. We won our first game, our second game. We didn't win it, but we fought pretty good against the Titans, and then it was all downhill from there.
Exactly, and then getting blown out, and there's this trash. I do like seeing the young guys play because Jonathan Gennard, Ross Blacklock, Roy Lopez, they're all looking good. Justin Reed, I don't think he's going to be on the team next year because this is last year. They all look good.
We'll take them.
But it's terrible to see those guys' efforts coming with a loss because we suck. There ain't nothing I can say about it. We just suck.
Well, like the Jaguars, you guys are on path to hopefully a high draft pick where you can draft your quarterback of the future, or you can just run to Tyrod.
I'm good. I don't want to go back from this draft at all. I'm good.
Okay, that's fair.
Good.
Tyrod Taylor for another year. Got it.
But before I do move on, I do want to say our thoughts and prayers with all the family and people who were affected by the Astroworld incident. So thoughts and prayers to you guys.
Absolutely. So obviously, we're talking about first round draft pick quarterback potential for the Texans. Segue into the Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, and the Bills. Matt, run through the game with us real quick.
Run through the game. All right. Well, first round quarterback didn't do too much yesterday, but we didn't need it. We just needed a couple field goals. And I'm pretty sure officially we only missed one field goal. And it's all right because he made the three that mattered, right? He still was the hero. I mean, how do you miss 3 field goals and yet you still are the hero for the team? I'll take it.
Josh Allen was the hero.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for sure.
Both Josh Allens was the hero.
That man made a point yesterday.
Trevor Lawrence, I think he threw correct me if I'm wrong, Justin. I think it was like 118 yards. I think that's all that he threw for was like 118. Again, we didn't need that much.
There's only one stat that matters.
It only about half of those yards. Crazy enough, Dan Arnold. I don't know if you guys remember Dan Arnold, how we got him. We traded C.J. Henderson to Carolina, where he's doing absolutely nothing with Carolina. So on the front end, you'd think that we were the losers in that trade, but so far I think we're the winners. But yeah, Josh Allen. It was definitely the Josh Allen show from beginning to end. And I think it was Josh Allen got a pick. Josh Allen got a sack. Josh Allen got a fumble recovery.
Josh Allen made Josh Allen his day.
Yeah, he had the trifecta.
And even what's his face from Taven Bryan, Justin. Taven Bryan showed out. I don't know if you guys remember him. He was our he was our first round draft pick a couple years ago.
Asking me to remember Jaguars
from our fantastic regime. Our previous regime, and the guy's done absolutely nothing. And out of nowhere, he has, I think, 2 sacks yesterday. So our defense was on point yesterday. It was really awesome to see. They pretty much said, we're going to shut down the sidelines, and you're going to have to throw it in front of us in the middle of the field. And that we let them. I mean, they probably got 5-yard dunks here and there, but it was enough to stop them. And I think for me personally, what I'm taking from it as a Jaguars fan is, in years past, we just weren't winning these games, right? In the NFL, they say any given Sunday, because they're supposed to be parity. People are supposed to, teams are supposed to be competitive, even, the last place team. And in previous years, we weren't even doing that. So we were getting the Indianapolis game, right? We always get the Indianapolis game every year. That's kind of a gimme. But so it feels good.
Let's hope we get it again.
We'll get it.
Get it again.
We'll get it.
No. You can't stop Jonathan Taylor, so no.
No.
He had 260 last year.
That's okay. He can put up 260 all at once. We'll still get the W. That's all that matters.
There's only one stat that matters.
The only one that
matters. He got the W. He got the W.
It was very different seeing, the previous week, Geno Smith, we went up against Seattle. Geno Smith, I think, had he has the most consecutive passes completed so far this season against the Jaguars. Geno Smith, the guy who I thought retired a couple years ago and was a sideline reporter. The next week we go up against Josh Allen for the Buffalo Bills, one top 3 quarterback in the NFL this season. Somehow we stop him, but
no doubt.
I'm really excited. Our offense didn't show out. James Robinson was out.
Dude, I want to speak on that. All day, I was checking my phone and it said questionable. And I was like, okay, he's going to play. Game started automatically because I have him 3 fantasy teams.
Yeah.
So I didn't change him because they didn't tell me he was out. And as soon as the game started, boom, he was out. Yeah. I was like, you mother. Oh,
yeah, I was lucky.
3 games.
Yeah.
I
was lucky. I had him started in our league actually, and then I checked right beforehand. They said he was out, so I put him in. But James Robinson, that was sucked to see him scratched. And then our left tackle, Cam Robinson, he hurt his back in the pregame warmups, and so we had a rookie at the left tackle who hasn't played in 2 years. He got injured 2 years ago in college. And then he sat out last year for COVID reasons. So he didn't have the best day, but he held his own, and we got the win, right. And Jamal Agnew, our special teams pickup in the offseason has turned into our potentially number one wide receiver, which is an interesting pickup. I don't know if you guys know this, but he was at Buffalo, and our coach now was at Buffalo, and they weren't playing him a wide receiver. So that's been an interesting pickup.
And you beat Buffalo.
And we beat Buffalo, and we saved all the tables, all of them.
All of them. So some quick stats, right? Apparently it's been 420 days since the last time we beat the Buffalo Bills. And from that, the final score was 6-9. Nice.
Wasn't it 10-3?
No, 6-9.
It was 69.
It was 6-9.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the wild card game. That was 10-3, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Anyway.
But my question to you, Matt, is that
no, we're not going to the Super Bowl. Maybe. Mathematically, I think we still can.
Yes, mathematically, we're still
not over. It's not over.
But Trevor Lawrence, to give some context, Trevor Lawrence got hurt in the second quarter with about, I think, 6 or 8 minutes left before halftime. CJ Beathard came in, or Beathard, however you say his last name, actually had a perfect passer rating, 2 for 2 for 33 yards. Are you concerned with Cam Robinson being hurt, Walker Little playing, protecting the quarterback and not getting him hurt? Are you worried about that at all with Urban Meyer and his, coaching ability at this point with Trevor Lawrence, just putting him in a situation where he's not going to be successful?
I'd say no, just because we've seen, a Jaguars fan who's watched every game, every snap for the most part, right? They've seen progression each week. And I think Trevor Lawrence you'll see our line hasn't really, our talent hasn't gotten any better. But if you look at the sack rate from previous years, it's substantially down. I mean, I think part of that's because of Trevor Lawrence. He's just that much better than the quarterbacks that we've had before. He's a smart player. He gets rid of the ball when he needs to. He will have his rookie mistakes, but regardless of what the coach puts out there and who's playing on the line, I think a lot of those, he's going to negate a lot of potential sacks just because of his smart play and knowing when to get rid of the ball. And I think he's increased that even from game one as an NFL player. I mean, just look at his interception rate. So he was getting rid of the ball. He was getting rid of the ball before, but he was putting it in other players' hands. Whereas now he's getting rid of the ball and he's just making an incomplete pass. So I think,
I'm about to say that's a good, a good thing too about Lawrence. At the beginning of the year, everybody was saying he's the next Peyton Manning, throwing the most interceptions as a rookie, to completely cutting that in half. So I mean, that's a big plus for you guys.
You guys are 2-1 in the last 3 games, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because there was a bye in there, right? Wasn't there? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We won, lost, won. So.
Would you say we lost the last game because Urban spent too much time in the pub in England?
What are you talking about? You guys are 2-1 since he got a lap dance. They should give him some more.
Let's go.
Give him some more.
Hey, I got a quarterback that can give you some numbers. I mean,
but yeah, back to Cam Robinson. Yeah, I've been impressed with him. He's had such an up and down career with us, I think. But I think the games that he hasn't been in, it really shows what he does bring to the table. He's not, top 15, top 20, but he's a solid left tackle that you could depend on when he's in there. So we'll see at the end of the year if we end up tagging him again or sign to contract.
I hope so.
But I think he's shown his value. So
I think a lot of the sacks in the past with the Jaguars were induced by the quarterback not having a good pocket presence.
Correct.
But I digress. What's up, Matt? Hit me.
With y'all both being non-Florida Gator fans, can I ask both of you two a question? I know you're a host, Justin, but we had Todd on the podcast last week, and he said first thing they need to do is quit going after Florida Gator players who think just going to bring butts in the seats and actually bring talent. Do y'all agree with that, or y'all okay with?
I think a billionaire owner doesn't become a billionaire by making stupid decisions, and I think to think that an owner chooses a player because he's popular is a stupid decision. So I highly doubt a super successful billionaire owner. And this isn't against you, but I hear this all the time. A super successeful billionaire owner is going to pick somebody because they're popular. They're going to pick somebody who can help them.
So you like that? So you like that pickup of the left tackle, right? Taylor or
Juwan Taylor?
Yeah.
He was one of those. He's one of those players that kind of rose up in the draft board out of nowhere, and gosh, well, I think it was like the second half of his final season with the Gators. So he wasn't just high on our draft board; he was high on everybody's draft board.
I didn't know nothing of him until y'all picked him up, so I don't pay attention to the Gators. So
sure,
no. So.
I think from my standpoint is that with the regime change, I think a philosophy is going to change, which is good because the philosophy before that was in the first 2 rounds. we try to find a diamond in the rough in the first 2 rounds during the Caldwell era. And that's not where you find them. You don't try to look cute. You go for the guy who has the highest ceiling and fills a need. And Taven Bryan wasn't it when they drafted him. Okay. We had needs on the team. Juwan Taylor, I personally did not want him. Okay. Just because of the things I saw when he played, because my wife went to Florida. We watch a lot of Florida games. The things I saw on tape, I didn't like. Okay. There are picks from Florida that have worked out. Reggie Nelson, who could probably go up onto the Jaguars Hall of Fame with his play there. But
Fred Taylor?
Yes. Yeah, Fred Taylor. I mean, we do have good Florida players, but I think when it comes to it is that with the regime change now that's in place, if there's a good prospect from Florida and they think they're going to draft him, then I think at this point that person will be successful. Previously, I agree with what you're saying that the Florida players that we took in the past didn't pan out because we were trying to make a 5th round pick into a 1st round pick, and sometimes that doesn't always translate well. Okay,
it's almost as bad as what was it, Geno Smith era, where they were picking like what Division 12 player can we find in the 1st round that's going to pan out, you know?
Mm-hmm. Right. And Dave Caldwell tried to do that throughout the whole draft. And don't get me wrong, he found people like Telvin Smith, the Pro Bowl linebacker, in the 4th or 5th round, which was great. But let's hand over the 1st and 2nd round picks to someone else so we can have a stable roster instead of trying to find a 5th round or a 4th round kicker that you're going to take over Russell Wilson.
And I don't think they picked Taven Bryan because he was a Gator. I think it's a mix of that. Oh man, he's a diamond rough, like you said. He just happened to be from Florida, and being from Florida, I think he did rise up on people's boards. And I'm always leery of those people that all of a sudden, rise up in the last season. There's a reason that you didn't see him the years before, for the most part.
Yeah. Well, you know what Josh Allen's nickname is now, right? Anybody know?
The Bills quarterback?
No. Jaguars Josh Allen. They actually call him Josh Allen Sr. because he's Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills' dad.
Dang.
Let's go. Matt, do you have anything else to add from the game?
Nope.
I had some question, though. Like, what's with Urban Meyer? Is he still, like, hating life? Like, what's the long-term thing with him?
It's Urban Meyer, man. Like historically, I mean, if you just you can only look at what he's done beforehand, right? So you could anticipate, maybe 2 or 3 years from now, he's gone. And maybe with all the losing, maybe that hurries up that process. I think as the season's wearing on, he's starting to understand like what it's like to be in the NFL, and you can be the number 1 offense and defense in the league and still lose to the worst team in the league. And it's just part of the game. But I think he's seeing those hints of wow, we actually have potential. And I think that'll keep him around. I don't know.
It does seem like you guys were still like trying to compete out. There didn't seem to be like a broken spirit out there.
Right.
Like after the first half of that season, like,
Right, and and again, it's like we're a different Jaguar team before. Whereas like a lot of these games that we've been losing, we would just roll over and the score would be 69-0. 69 was intended, but
yeah,
right.
Well done.
Well, Matt, to further your point real quick, do you think that's large in part with the attitude and what Trevor Lawrence brings to the team, that leadership role, which we probably didn't have in the past? Do you think that's in part
besides Blake Bortles?
Hey, don't talk about the boat like that.
That's right.
But anyways,
Blake Bortles.
Yeah, but anyways, do you think that's a large in part due to Trevor Lawrence being on the team now versus not being on the team in the past?
I think for now, for sure, they see that potential there, and if he can reach that potential that everyone is hoping he has, I think we'll keep that positivity, that optimism to keep playing hard. I don't know if he's.
Hey, Minshew played hard every snap.
Oh my gosh! But could you imagine being an offensive lineman for that guy? Hey, we're gonna go ahead and do this, and you turn around, he's on the other side of the field. Like
getting sacked.
Like that's not leadership, right? Trevor Lawrence is trying to do the leadership on the field. I don't think we've had a true leader since Paul Posluszny, honestly. Because like we've got Miles Jack, he's a fantastic player, but he's no leader. Like he's proven that he can't be the one that leads, right? So I'm hoping that Trevor Lawrence is that rock, that leader that keeps us going moving forward.
Definitely feeling a cultural shift.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so, but I heard an NFL player today talking about culture, and he's just like, bro, we don't care about the culture. Just get in here and win. Like, yeah, there's an extent where you get to a toxic culture that you got to get rid of, but at the end of the day, it's just get the wins. Get the skills, get the skill put together.
I was fucking pissed, and I'm gonna say that on live that I was pissed when Trevor Lawrence got hurt. That's all I got to say about that.
Whoa, that's a hot take.
Is
he okay, though? Is he okay?
He's fine, right?
Yeah. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
But that was the left tackle. The left tackle couldn't block the guy. The left tackle was literally blocked into him. So, again, shows the value of K-Rob.
Let me call the Forrest Buckner right quick.
Oh, gosh.
Okay. So, great analysis, guys. Let's talk about next week. The Saints play the Titans. Who do we think is going to win that game? Matt, we'll start with you. Josh Senior, we'll start with you. Titans.
Titans. Yeah, they're going to manhandle those boys.
Matthew Briggs. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I would say Titans, but hopefully they don't pull a Titans move and sleep on the Saints, because you never know what can happen. I mean, look at all last week. All the underdogs upset their team, so but I still say Titans.
Mm-hmm. Agent Ha, who you got, dog?
Well, I don't like making predictions. I get in trouble with. I get in trouble when I do. I've been thinking about it. Like, I've been riding high off this last one, but I was thinking about it. Like, I think that I can't depend on our. I can't depend on our defense being as dominant as they were yesterday. So it's going to be tougher. But this is like not the Rams offense that this defense is going against. They don't need to be that good going up against Trevor Siemian. I'm not that worried about it. But we're also going up against the Saints defense is not that bad. Like, they're a pretty solid defense. So it's just I think, unfortunately, it's going to be up to our offense. And I don't know how confident I am in that. But hey, you know what? We're playing real good. Let's ride the wave and keep it going. Let's make it 6-6.
Nice. Matt Grieve, who do you think is going to win between the Titans and the Saints?
It's a down week, and I see the Saints pull the upset.
Ooh, nice.
Oh.
Hey, they beat Trevor Siemian, beat the Bucs, and they dang near almost pulled it off yesterday. So I don't think it's that much of a reach to say.
Yep. And sorry, go ahead, Matt.
I would say also part of it's because I hate the Titans. So
yeah, I'll let you get up, of course, but
I do too, but I ain't done.
I'm trying to use some reason here to sort of soften the blow if we lose.
I think Kamara goes off, and then like I said earlier, any given Sunday, man, anybody can win.
Of course, yeah. I mean, yesterday was the perfect example of that. I think I saw the stat. They said that there were 11 teams that were playing out of the 11 mismatches, 7 underdogs won.
Oh,
crazy. I think the Texans are on a bye next week. Is that correct?
And we still lose.
So that means it takes us to our final matchup. 1 o'clock game on Sunday. The Jags versus the Colts. Josh Senior, lead us off, man. Who do you think?
Hey, before I make my prediction, where's it at?
This isn't the Sunday night game. They should flex it.
Is it the
Indianapolis?
Is it Indy?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I gotta go with the hometown. I gotta go with Michael Pittman going off. I gotta go with JT going off. I got us winning. I mean, we're not letting a rookie quarterback come in and beat us. It's not happening.
Matt Grieve, who you got?
I say we ride momentum, and we're gonna get it. We're gonna get a win.
Love it. Agent Ha, hit me.
I'm gonna ask Michael Tessmer what he thinks.
Nice. I like that. Matt Briggs.
Man, I gotta agree with Matt. I think the Jaguars are better than the Jets, and the Jets try to pull that comeback. I think James Robinson's going to run all over that defense. So I'm going to say Jags pull the upset.
Love it. Love it. All right, guys. Well, do you have anything else to add before we sign off?
We are starting our own podcast network called Fan Battle Sports. So if you are a podcaster and you're interested in joining the network, help us grow it. Contact us, me, Sam, Justin, Hurries, anyone on here, and we'll get you going. Right now, we got a Texans podcast, Texans Fan Battle, and we got the Colts Fan Battle. You don't know Jack, so check them out. But big things are coming, guys. Thank you for the support. If it wasn't for you guys, none of this would be able to happen. So, awesome. Jaguars and Titans, get on your shit and get a podcast going. Come on,
John. You actually had a fan comment come in.
Oh boy!
So I think you had a fan, but now they're no longer your fan.
That's fine.
Oh, Michael Tesler.
It says you aren't my favorite Titans fan anymore.
That's perfect. It's easier when there's none.
Only fans, except there are
That's
none.
right. There's only one. Well, they don't let me do porn on there anymore, so.
That's true.
So, hey, guys, where can they find you? Josh Senior, where can we find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at I am Josh Senior.
And where can they find the Colts podcast as well?
On Twitter at YDK Jack, JAC.
Nice. Matt Grieve, where can we find you, man?
You typically find me in Verdansk around 11 o'clock at night. I'll be willing to team up with anybody. I prefer Warzone, but I'll play whatever as long as you got a mic, right? Twitter at Matthew G Sports.
Nice. Agent Ha, we're going to skip you because you don't do the
Wait, hang on. I don't do any of the interwebs, but I told my friend he just started a Twitch. I don't know what kind of game he's doing, but you can see on the name I have there, iFados. That's his thing. If you want to give him some love, I would appreciate it. I know you guys don't love me. I have no fans, but maybe give my buddy some fans.
I'm your fan.
There you go.
She's wearing sunglasses inside.
I'm your fan, John.
Gardena Minshew.
You're my favorite Titans fan.
Hey.
Matthew Briggs, where can we find you, my man?
Right now, it's Sadden Texan fan, but I will be changing it to Don't Be Stingy for Stingly. So let's go.
And then the Texans Fan Battle podcast, where can we find it as well?
As it says, Texan Fan Battle, all one word, everywhere.
Nice. Well, hey, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. You can find our podcast on all major platforms as well as the Relevant app. We are also on Twitter and as well as Discord. So feel free to hop in to those places. In our Facebook group, we're live there every Monday. And along with joining the group, a lot of chatting goes on about the teams and talking smack. So join us on those channels and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Bye.
Shout out to Duval Till We Die Originals for the shirt. Happy Victory Monday. Bye.